Hello guys, welcome to Ramsa IAS. Today we are going to solve few questions on ratios and fractions. Just read the first problem in this. A sum of 2500 rupees is distributed among x, y and z in the ratio 1 by 2 is to 3 by 4 is to 5 by 6. Then what is the difference between the maximum share and the minimum share? Guys, we feel difficulty whenever we solve problems in ratios if they are in fractional form. So I'll do one thing, I'll convert this fraction into normal ratio. See how to do that. Let me write the ratios here. Just imagine x, y, z, they are getting 1 by 2, 3 by 4 and 5 by 6. Just imagine if denominator is same for the three ratios, then numerators will be the exact ratio. Okay, so I'll do one thing, I'll make all the denominators equal. Okay, how to do that? See, 1 by 2, 3 by 4, 5 by 6. If I make all the denominators as the LCM of the given denominators, then numerators will be exact ratio. So I'll do one thing, I'll multiply this with 6 and 6 for the numerator and denominator, so that 6 into 2 will be 12 in denominator and 6 into 1 is 6 is 2. I'll multiply this 3 by 4 with 3 and 3 in the numerator as well as in denominator. Okay, I'll do here itself. Then the denominator will be 4 3s 12 and 3 3s are 9. The last one, I'll multiply 5 by 6 with 2 and 2 in the numerator and in denominator as well. Then denominator will be 6 2s are 12 and numerator will be 5 2s are 10. Can you observe all the three denominators are equal here? So ultimate ratio will be 6 is to 9 is to 10. So I'll write the same here, 6 is to 9 is to 10. Now, so this is the ratio that x, y, z are distributing the amount total 2500 rupees. Generally we know how to solve the problem. Just we will consider this as 6x rupees, 9x rupees and 10x rupees. So total amount is 25x rupees, which is equal to 2500 rupees according to the given question. So here x becomes 100 rupees. Now what is our question? We need to find out the difference. We need to find out the difference between the maximum share and the minimum share. What is the maximum share here? The maximum share is by z, that is 10x, and the minimum share is by x, and that is 6x. So the difference between 10x and 6x will be 4x rupees. However, we know x equal to 100 rupees. So if I substitute this x equal to 100 rupees in 4x, then 4 into 100 gives you 400 rupees. Can you find 400 rupees in options? Yes, option C, 400 rupees is the answer. Okay, the next question in this video. Which of the following will have minimum change in its value if 5 is added to both numerator and the denominator of the fractions 3 by 4, 2 by 3, 4 by 5 and 5 by 6. Okay, see here in this question, if we add a number, let it be 5 or 10 or any number, to the numerator and to the denominator, which will have the less or the minimum change in it. Let us see. Okay, I'll write all the fractions given here, 2 by 3 and 3 by 4. Okay, I'll write the remaining later. Just imagine if I add 5 to numerator and the denominator, the fraction becomes 7 by 8, right? Okay, forget about this 3 by 4 as well. If I add 5 to numerator and denominator of the first fraction, that is 3 by 2 by 3, the resultant will be 7 by 8. Now I need to find out what is the change in the fraction. So the change will be the difference of the resultant fraction and the given fraction. 8 and 3 are co-primes. Of course, their LCM gives, their product gives you their LCM. So 8 3s are 24, 3 7s are 21 minus 8 2s are 16. So it will be 5 by 24. So 5 by 24 is the change in the first fraction. Similarly, I will find out the remaining changes as well. So 5 by 24 with another color I will write here just for my reference, 5 by 24 for 2 by 3. Okay, and for the remaining, next fraction is 3 by 4, right? 3 by 4. If I add 5 to numerator and the denominator, then the fraction will be 8 by 9, right? So the change will be 8 by 9 minus 3 by 4. 5 by 36. So just for my reference, I will write the number here, 5 by 36. The next fraction, see this time I will not write everything. See 4 by 5 is the fraction. If you add 5 to numerator and denominator as well, the resultant will be 9 by 10, right? And the change will be 9 by 10 minus 4 by 5. Okay, and 1 by 10, great. See, I will write 1 by 10 here, 1 by 10, the last one. If I add 5 to numerator and denominator of 5 by 6, the resultant will be 10 by 11. The change in the fraction will be 10 by 11 minus 5 by 6. Denominator will be, the LCM will be 66. 5 by 66. So these four are the differences we are getting in the fractions when we add 5 to numerator and denominator as well. So I will write the four changes here in one place: 5 by 24, 5 by 36. Guys, I am going to compare these outcomes. Okay, 5 by 66. See, finding the value of 5 by 36 may be a bit difficult, finding the value of 5 by 24 may be a bit difficult, but when you are comparing them, see, if you have either numerator or denominator the same value, comparison will be very simple. So I will do one thing, I will convert this odd man 1 by 10 also in such a way that to get 5 in the numerator. So I will make it into 5 to numerator and denominator, then it will be 5 by 50. Then it becomes 5 by 50. So these four are the differences we are getting, four are the changes in the fractions we are getting. See, when numerator is same, remember, when numerator is same and denominators are different, you check for the maximum value in the denominator, maximum value of denominator, which gives you minimum of total. Let me repeat, if you have the highest value in denominator, the value of the fraction will be the least, right? If the value is the minimum in denominator, the total value will be the maximum. So from this, when you have 5 in numerator, check for the largest value in denominator, that gives you the minimum change. So where you have the largest denominator, the last one 5 by 66. So which is respective change for the fraction 5 by 6. So 5 by 6 will be affected the least. So the change will be the minimum for 5 by 6. So I will go with option D. And may I know for which fraction the change will be the maximum? Yes, 5 by 4, the respective change for 2 by 3. So it will have the maximum change and it will have the minimum change. So if you want me to write them in ascending order, okay, the minimum change is for 5 by 6, okay, and the next change will be for 4 by 5, and the third change will be for 3 by 4, and the maximum change is for 2 by 3. So this is the ascending order. From this you can understand one thing. If the given numbers are like A by B, B by C, C by D, D by E, where A, B, C, D are consecutive numbers. Okay, this will be least affected, this will be affected the maximum in their changes when we are adding something to numerator and denominator as well. So, the next question in this just read it once. If the numerator and denominator of the proper fraction are increased by the same positive quantity which is greater than 0, the resulting fraction will be dash. Now, this question is a bit similar to the previous one, but there is a lot difference between the two. Just read the question again. If numerator and denominator of a proper fraction are increased by the same positive quantity which is greater than 0. So, if you add something greater than 0 means a positive number to the numerator and denominator of a proper fraction, then the resulting fraction is dash. I will do one thing, I will consider a proper fraction here and I will add a number, a positive number to the numerator and denominator, then I will check. It is very simple. So, I will consider a fraction, you take one number like 8 by 10, why not? Yes, I will consider 8 by 10. Okay. If I add 10 to the numerator and 10 to the denominator, then it will be 18 by 20, right? So, if you cancel them, look at this clearly, 2 9s, 2 10s. So, result will be 9 by 10. Initial fraction was 8 by 10. When you add a positive number to the numerator and to the denominator, then the result will be 9 by 10 here, which is greater than the initial fraction. So, the result 9 by 10 is greater than the initial fraction 8 by 10. So, from this I can say always lesser than the original fraction? No. Always greater than the original fraction? Yes. Let me check the remaining two as well. Always equal to the original fraction 8 by 10 and 9 by 10? No, they are not equal. Such that nothing can be claimed definitely. No, always the resultant will be the greater than the original fraction. So, I can go with the option B. So, if you want, you can take another fraction and you can cross check. So, the next question in this video, just read it once. If a bus travels 160 kilometers in 4 hours and a train travels 320 kilometers in 5 hours at uniform speeds, then what is the ratio of distances travelled by them in 1 hour? Very good. So, the ratio, we need to find out the ratio of distances they travelled in 1 hour. The distance travelled in 1 hour is nothing but speed. So, indirectly we need to find out the ratio of their speeds. Okay, how to find it out? A bus is travelling. Okay, here the bus travels 160 kilometers in 4 hours means, I am talking about bus here, 160 kilometers in 4 hours, and speed is nothing but distance per hour. So, in 1 hour how much distance it travels? In 1 hour how much distance it travels? 40 kilometers. So, speed of bus equal to 40 kmph. Guys, I will solve this question in more simpler way after 1 minute, okay? And the second one is, a train travels 320 kilometers in 5 hours. So, I am talking about train here. Train is traveling 320 kilometers in 5 hours. So, in 1 hour how much distance it travels? It travels 320 by 5, how much it is? So, speed of train equal to 64 km per hour. Now, what we need to find out? The ratio of speeds of bus and train. So, SB is to ST. So, 40 is to 64. 40 is to 64, I'll write here 40 is to 64. 8 5s, 8 8s. So this will be 5 is to 8, which is in option B. Guys, but this question I'll solve without using pen and paper in hardly 10 or 15 seconds. How to solve this? See, here indirectly we need to find out the distance travelled by them in 1 hour, means we need to find out their speed ratio. That is very clear for us. And we all know that speed and time are inversely in proportion, right? So, S1 by S2 equal to T2 by T1. Yes or no? So, I will do one thing, I will find out their time ratio and then I will inverse them, I will get my required answer. So, how to find it out? Can you observe a small, the given numbers here, 160 kilometers, 320 kilometers. Bus is taking 4 hours to travel 160 kilometers. Just imagine how much time a bus takes to travel 320 kilometers. 16 2s are 32, right? So, it takes 4 into 2, 8 hours. So, bus is taking total 8 hours to travel 320 kilometers. At the same time, the train is taking, the train is taking total 5 hours to travel the same distance. So, what is their time ratio? How much time they are taking? 8 is to 5. When it comes to speed, it should be reversed, 5 is to 8. So, option B will be the answer. Just use the formula. That's it. So, the next question in this video. In a group of persons, 70% of the persons are male and 30% of the persons are married. If 2/7 of the male are married, then what fraction of females are singles here? Guys, remember, whenever we need to deal with percentages or ratios, better to consider a number, then calculations will be very simple. Especially when it comes to percentages, consider a number equal to 100, no, which is suitable. With practice only you will get to know which number we should consider as 100, okay. So that calculations will be very simple. Just imagine in a group of persons, I will consider total number of people as 100. Total how many people we have? 100. Out of 100, 70% are males. 70% of 100 is nothing but 70 only. And remaining are female. How many females we have? 30 members only. Now, 30% of the persons are married. We don't know how many male, how many female are married, but overall 30% of the group. So, out of 100, 30 people are married. So, I will do one thing. Total married people are 30. Total married are 30. I don't know how many men and how many women are married, but overall it is 30. Then if 2/7 of male candidates, so 2/7 of male candidates, total males are 70, are married. So just do the calculation. Out of 70, 20 male are married. So out of 30 married people, 20 are males only. So the remaining 10 married people are females. Now what is our question? What fraction of the females is single, not married? See, out of 30 females, 10 already married. So the remaining unmarried or single females are 20 people. So the fraction is 20 out of 30 are singles. So ultimately it will be 2 by 3. So can you find 2 by 3 in options? Yes, option D, 2 by 3 is the answer. Then my question, how many male candidates are singles? So out of 70, 20 are married. The fraction of single male are remaining 50 are unmarried only na, singles only na. So 50 by 70 that equal to 5 by 7 is single male candidates in the group. So the next question in this video. 30 grams of sugar was mixed with 180 ml water in vessel A, 40 grams of sugar was mixed with 280 ml of water in vessel B, and 20 grams of sugar was mixed with 100 ml of water in vessel C. Guys, here we have total 3 vessels, and in 3 vessels we have different quantity of water and we are mixing different quantity of sugar. Here I have a small assumption, guys. See, 30 grams, 40 grams and 20 grams. See, these 3 values I will consider it as ml only. Okay, a small assumption here, the 30 grams, 40 grams and 20 grams. I will not consider these as grams, I will consider them in terms of ml only. So here I will draw 3 vessels A, B, C. So it is a small assumption and I am applying the same assumption for 3 liquids, right? So it will not be much problem for us. In vessel A we have 30 ml of sugar in 180 ml of water. When we mix 30 ml to 180 ml, the total quantity will be 210 ml, right? Out of 210 ml, 30 ml are sugar in quantity A. So I will take another color for B, and here we are mixing 40 ml of sugar to 280. When we mix 40 ml to 280, it becomes 320, right? 320 ml, and out of that 40 ml is of sugar. Similarly, the last one, 20 plus 100 is 120, and out of 120, 20 is of water. So now we have to compare the sugar quantity in vessel B with other vessels, right? So I will do one thing, I will find out their ratio so that comparison will be very simple for me. Okay, 3 by 21, I can write it as 3 by 21 is 2. I can write it as 4 by 32. Good. I can write it as 2 by 12. But to compare 3 ratios, I already told you, either numerator or denominator should have the same values. See, 21, 32, 12, maybe comparison will be a bit difficult as they don't have any common number with them. But 3, 4, 2 in numerator will be very simple to convert. What is LCM of 2, 4, 3? Obviously 12. So I will try to make all the numerators in terms of 12, so that comparison will be very simple. Into 4 by 4, into 3 by 3, into 6 by 6. Yes. So let me write the 3 ratios here. 12 by 3 32s are 96 and 6 2s are 12 by 72. So numerators are equal and denominators are different, and if you observe clearly, the denominators are 72, 96 and 82. So from this we can understand that in vessel A, out of 82 liters of water, we have 12 liters of sugar. Just imagine whether it is ml or liters or grams, anything. Out of 82 we have 12. Out of 96 in vessel B we have 12 parts of sugar, we can say. In vessel C, out of 72 parts of water, 12 parts are sugar. Now tell me, if you compare the vessel, okay, the solution in vessel B, if you compare the vessel B with other vessels, vessel B is sweeter than that of C. C, in out of 72 we have 12 and out of 96 we have 12. So which one is sweeter? Obviously C should be more sweeter but not B. So I can eliminate this one. And B, vessel B is sweeter than A. See, out of 82 liters we have 12 liters of sugar. Out of 96 liters we have 12 liters of sugar, whether it is liter or ml, anything. Okay. So it is clear that A is more sweeter than B, because here it is diluted one. No, out of 96 liters we are just adding 12 liters, but here with 82 liters itself we are adding 12 liters, right? So this is more sweeter than B. So I can cancel this as well. Vessel B is as sweeter as C. just tell me 96 and 72, are they same? No, not possible. In fact, C is more sweeter than B, right? Next, vessel B is less sweeter than C. Of course, I am telling you the same. B is less sweeter than C. Yes, I will go with option D. Vessel B is less sweeter than C. Now, just let me compare. No, we got our required answer, but just let me compare. Vessel C is the sweetest one, and vessel A is next to C, vessel B is next to A. So, this is the sweetest, next sweeter one, next sweet one. The next and the last question in this video, just read it once. A bottle contains 20 liters of liquid A. 4 liters of liquid A is taken out and replaced by the same quantity of liquid B. Again 4 liters of the mixture is taken out and replaced by the same quantity of liquid B. What is the ratio of quantity of liquid A to the ratio of liquid B in the final mixture? So, just imagine this is a bit difficult question and it takes some extra time to solve. Okay. This is the vessel, right? Initially 20 liters of liquid is there and the total liquid is liquid A only, right? 20 and 0 initially. Next, what happened? We taken 4 liters out and we mixed liquid B. So, now after first mixture, we have 16 liters of A and 4 liters of B. Again 4 liters of the mixture is taken out. This time we are taking the mixture out. It does not mean that we are taking only liquid A. We are taking 4 liters out means the liquid A and the liquid B will come out with the same ratio. So, I will do one thing. I will find out their ratio. Total 20 liters liquid we have, mixture we have inside the vessel, and out of 20, 16 liters are A. Out of 20, 4 liters of are B. So, I can write it as 4 by 5 is liquid A, 1 by 5 is liquid B. Now, here what I am doing? I am taking 4 liters out. If I take 4 liters out, they will come out with the same ratio, right? So, I will do one thing. I am writing A here, B here. This is the continuation, okay? This is the continuation. If I take 4 liters out of 4 by 5, 16 by 5 liters will be out. Similarly, when it comes to B, 1 by 5 of 4. So, 4 by 5 liters will come out. See, this is the liquid, this is the amount of liquid we are taking out. Okay, this is the amount of liquid we are taking out. I will write it here, taking out. See, initially it has total 16 liters. If I take 16 by 5 out, initially we have 16 liters of liquid A, and if we take 16 by 5 out, how much of liquid A will be remaining in the vessel? 16 minus 16 by 5. How much it will be? 4 by 5 of 16. Yes or no? Just keep it here and check how much of liquid B will be in the vessel. When we take 4 by 5 out of 4, how much will be remained inside? I am talking about liquid B here. 4 minus 4 by 5. So, it will be 4 of 4 by 5. 4 of 4 by 5. So, this is the amount we taken out and this is the amount we left in the vessel. Now, what happened? After taking out the 4 liters of mixture, we are replacing it with quantity B. We are replacing with quantity B. So, here quantity B will be added. How much quantity will be added? 4 liters. So, 4 liters will be added to this. So, total it will be 4 of 4 by 5 plus 4. How much it will be? 5 plus 4. 9 of 4 by 5. Yes or no? This is the ultimate mixture we have, and in that we have 4 by 5 of 16 liquid A, 4 by 5 of 9 liquid B. Then what is the ratio of A and B? Again, finally I am writing here with red color, mixture A and B. I have ultimately 16 of 4 by 5 and 9 of 4 by 5. 9 of 4 by 5. And the ratio will be dash. Very simple. 4 by 5 will be cancelled on the two sides, and the ratio will be 16:9. Yes, this is the final amount we have in the mixture. Liquid A, B in the ratio 16:9. Can you find 16:9 in options? Yes, option C is the answer. So that's it guys. We will see more questions in our next video. Keep watching.